Good day and welcome to our top 5 things that you can do for free to massively improve the security on your WordPress site. These are all pretty quick and pretty easy, so let's just get through them. The very first thing to do is to remove all unnecessary themes and plugins. So you can see here we were using this anti-malware plugin. I can click delete and remove it. It's going to ask me if I want to get rid of it. Yes, I do. Next thing to do is to go to Appearances and Themes, get rid of all of the extra themes. I was a bit surprised to hear a few months ago of an attack that activated an old unused theme that was out of date and had a known security flaw in it. The attacker was then able to use that flaw to attack the site. So just get rid of anything you're not actually using. So in this case, I've already done that. I'm down to just the one. Next thing is update everything. So go into your plugins, back to plugins, or your themes here, whichever it may be. Go through both of them actually, and make sure all your plugins are up to date. The third thing to do is to get an automatic update. So now we're getting into the things that you probably don't know. One that I like is advanced automatic updates. It's free. Go into settings. And because I've had problems with major versions of WordPress updates, I like to set it to do update everything except major versions. So this is the default, which is minor and security versions, blah, 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 blah. And that's what it does. It does a great job at that. The fourth thing to do is go get a plugin, if you don't already have it, called WordFence. WordFence is the largest. Let's just take a look here. So WordFence is by far the largest and most successful security software for WordPress, and it is updated constantly. It is worked on. They have a paid version which you can buy. I don't pay for it because it's just a little too expensive. If it was half the price, I would probably consider it. But anyway, the free version is excellent, and the free version just added 2 additional things. You can see here that it has 3 million installations. This is a big product. Run through the wizard and you'll get most of the work done right away. There's a couple things I like to change, and let's show you what those are. Go to WordFence. This is a recent update. I'm going to not change any settings here. Go into all options. Scroll down to general options. And in here, by default, a couple of things are turned off. In particular, I've found, depending on the install you have, these 2 are turned off. I would turn those on. If those files have been changed, something's wrong. So I would have those scanned. And I've never had it cause a problem, so I highly suggest you turn that on. The next thing to do is to go into your WordFence login security and turn on the 2FA, that's two-factor authentication. This is a very big deal.
Two-step verification, an optional security feature that helps protect your account even if your password is stolen or cracked. This new feature helps improve security because signing in requires 2 things, something you know, your password, and something you have, your phone. With two-step verification, you'll get a short numeric code, known as a verification code, on your phone. You'll then enter this in addition to your username and password when you sign in. If you're an Android, BlackBerry, or iPhone user, you can also choose to generate a code on your phone using the Google Authenticator app. So
let's walk through it. It's going to tell you in here that basically this is a premium feature. It's now available for everybody. It eliminates hackers that are trying to guess your password or use a brute force attack, which is how the majority of these things go through. And those 2 things, that's two-factor, and that's what gets you in. So let's just click next on this. And also back to reCaptcha, which I'm going to leave for the moment because that's the very last thing we want to go through. Let's go back to two-factor. And what you want to do is get an app, most likely Google Authenticator. There are other authenticators, but I find this one works very well. Install it and configure it. Very straightforward. Just run through it. Not very challenging. Many people will already have it. The Google Authenticator, simply add this barcode. And you just heard on mine, it just came up. You heard the beep. And now it's given me a 6-digit code, and I have to enter that code, 534417. Now that code changes every 20, 30 seconds, so it's completely pointless for you to know what that code is after it's been entered here, so I don't have any problem showing you what it is. It's going to download the backup codes for me. So reCaptcha version 3 is a nice improvement over CAPTCHAs and reCAPTCHAs that you've seen in the past. The big difference is that when you go to sign into something, including you as the administrator trying to sign into the WP admin page, previously you'd probably be challenged with pictures. You have to pick out all the sidewalks or the cars or headlights or whatever else, or you'd have to transcribe the numbers and letters that appear on the screen in sort of a squished format. And that's quite difficult, especially for people that are handicapped. CAPTCHA v3 does not look at puzzles or checkboxes or anything like that. It looks at behavior, and that's much harder so far. It's much harder for the bot makers and attackers and hackers to fake. So reCAPTCHA version 3 is a really good idea. It doesn't cost you anything. Google is not explaining how reCAPTCHA version 3 works in detail, but we know it has to do with timing. There's some thought that it may have to do with, you know, where the mouse moves on the screen. For instance, a bot would move directly to the center of the I'm not a robot box, whereas a human would probably, you know, move around a little bit and not quite get it right and then click the box. So it's that kind of thing. So it's behavior based. So let's go set it up. I'm going to click Enable reCAPTCHA, and then it says, hey, to set this up, you've got to go out to the Google reCAPTCHA site. That takes you here. I already have a Google account, so I'm signed in, but it's just google.com/reCAPTCHA. Once you click the admin console, it'll take you here. If you've never been into it before, you want to select V3, then you want to add your domains, and you need to accept a license agreement. Then you click Submit, and it will give you codes, which I'm going to show you here. We're going to fuzz it out so you can't read them. And there they are. So I'm going to take these codes, my site key, and I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to take my secret key, and I'm going to paste it in. Then I go to the top, and I click Save. Now you have made 5 changes. You've reduced your attack surface by eliminating unnecessary themes and plugins. Number 2, you've patched everything. In other words, your plugins, your theme, and the actual WordPress itself. And you'll see here, I still have an update to do, which I'm going to do. It takes a few minutes. I didn't want to take up your time with it. But you need to make sure that that's done. Third thing, get an auto updater and set it to update everything, except in my case, we suggest that you don't have it update the major builds, but the minor builds and all of the plugins and themes. Number 4, get WordFence or some other free malware checker. But we recommend WordFence. It's worked very well for us over the years. And once you have WordFence installed, go make those 2 changes we said, which is to make sure that it's checking your plugins and your themes to make sure that the pages have not been altered. Just 2 little setting changes. And the last item comes from WordFence. Number 5 is to enable 2-factor authentication using Google Authenticator, and also turning on reCAPTCHA version 3, which is the way less annoying version of CAPTCHAs. Certainly won't be perfect, but it will help an awful lot. And those are the 5 things anybody can do for free to massively improve the security on their WordPress site. If you have any questions, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. Thank you. Bye-bye.